Welcome to Traveler's Tales. I am your host, Greg Alonso. Today in part 2 of the Argonautica, we will be looking at your questions and comments. However, before we begin, I would just like to remind you that we post new videos every Tuesday and Friday, and by clicking on the little bell icon, you will be notified when we post. Moving right along, our first question, well, actually it's a comment. It's from Stephanie. And she says that she wasn't aware that all of the epics of antiquity focus only on archetypes. Yes, Stephanie, you are absolutely correct. When Apollonius Rhodius set out to write his tale, he realized that public taste had begun to change. Readers were tired of the same old rehashed infallible archetypes conquering insurmountable odds. Apollonius set his sights on portraying his characters in a more realistic tone that the average person could relate. Paul has a question which I am frequently asked. He wants to know, why are many of the heroes and gods oftentimes called by different names? You know, Paul, I can understand. That can be very confusing. Let's use these examples. Heracles and Hercules, Odysseus and Ulysses, Zeus and Jupiter. The former of each name is Greek, while the latter is the Roman name. I hope that clears it up for you, and it can be a bit confusing. Moving right along, question number 3. Well, Kevin says he has a couple of questions. He wants to know if Caucasus is the same as today's Republic of Georgia. If yes, which is my favorite Georgian wine? Well, Kevin, to begin with, yes, the Kingdom of Caucasus is located in part of today's Georgia. As for my favorite Georgian wine, I would easily say Mukazani. This wine is made from the Saperavi grape. You should definitely give it a try. Our next question comes from Connie, and she wants to know, how was the Argonautica received upon its release? Well, Connie, let me just say that Apollonius gave the readers just what they wanted. He knew that they would be enthralled by an adventure tale of epic proportions. People had to be at the edge of their seats questioning how mere mortals would prevail over such insurmountable obstacles. However, now for the awkward pause. The critics panned the Argonautica. One of my favorite negative reviews goes on and on complaining that Jason and the Argonauts were unheroic characters without character. So much for the critics. I always have a joke and say, there has never been a statue that's been erected to the critics. Jank wants to know if I see the Argonautica as philosophical and sources many of its themes from Pyrrhonism. Well, Jank, that indeed is a great question. For those who aren't up on various schools of philosophy, Pyrrhonism is basically philosophical skepticism. Furthermore, Apollonius repeatedly puts his characters in situations that befuddle them. When it comes to making decisions, sometimes they are simply at a loss. For me, Apollonius has written a subtle parody of the philosophy. Well, that was a very serious and philosophical question, so I would say that it's definitely time for a bit of levity. Here's a fun question. Tristan wants to know if I am a fan of the 1963 film Jason and the Argonauts. Tristan also asks, what do I think of the work of Ray Harryhausen? To begin with, Tristan, I love the film. It is also one of my favorites of the genre. As for Ray Harryhausen, his work is masterful. I especially like the fight scene with the 7 skeleton warriors. In my opinion, Ray Harryhausen is the master of stop-motion photography. Kristen, I also enjoyed the miniseries starring Jason London. I think that was released back in 2000. Natasha Henstridge was stunning as ever in her portrayal of Queen Hypsipyle. The special effects are quite good, but let's face it, today's CGI does not share the same creative magic as Ray Harryhausen. Our next comment is from Sheila. She goes on to say that she is amused by what men will do to prove their machismo when challenged. Ouch! Just kidding. Sheila, you definitely make a valid point. The kingdom of Kulka sat at the edge of the known world, and it was not known whether the Golden Fleece was a mere legend. Jason and the Argonauts gladly accepted the challenge and sailed the Argo to what they believed was the end of the world. Our last question for today, and it's from Becca. She wants to know why the ship was named the Argo and the crewmen were called Argonauts. Becca, the shipbuilder, was named Argus. In turn, the ship and crew were named in his honor. This concludes part 2 of the Argonautica. I would like to thank you for the opportunity to discuss and share your comments and questions with our followers. As a reminder, we post new videos every Tuesday and Friday. Please like and subscribe to our channel. It really helps us grow. Thanks again, and don't forget to click on the little bell icon to be notified each time we post. Traveler's Tales will return with our next video, The Shield of Heracles. Kartistos.